Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video we are up with a new thing like this generator engine on a car gearbox. I'm going to disassemble this generator engine and put it over here to make this gearbox work so that I could just go ahead and build up my new project, a buggy project. So it's going to be two-seater, so I need this thing to have enough power to drag it and even go in the dunes. So we'll just find that thing out later on. But now, first of all, let's just move this engine out and try to assemble it over here. Alright guys, finger crossed because it is heavier. I'm thinking to keep it over here so that I can easily work on it. I can remove the generator out of it. It is heavy. Thank God I have managed to get it on. I just broke out one wing, and yes, I broke out this area as well. I hope I didn't ruin this because I have got a future planning on this. There are metal shavings inside, which isn't that bad. It is used, so there will be metal shavings inside. A tiny bit of metal shavings. Not that bad enough. What the hell is this? I broke this pipe, so I just removed the cover, and you can see inside this is completely black. like all the things is inside is black, and this much of play. This much of play is there, or it should be there or not. Like, I don't know about this engine, so I'll just find out, and we'll check this thing out later on. But unbelievably, it is completely black out inside. I just can't believe this. Alright guys, so off camera I did this. To get this thing exactly at the center, I just used the bolt which came with this engine. I don't have the exact size bolts for the exact size thread bolt, so that's what I just used, the same bolt. It was long enough, so I just added a bunch of nuts inside to make it strong enough. Now it is strong enough to hold this thing over here at the center, the whole center hole, so that I could just weld the entire over here, and we'll just turn this thing later on, because it's not exactly round. So that's what, after getting this welded up, I can just turn this thing down to round, and even make the hole for the flywheel to fit over here. A bunch of nuts. So got it centered up. Now just weld up the entire place. Alright guys, so got the welding done, and yes, it is pretty good welding, not that bad at all, as you can see. And even I have made a thick layer of welding over here, so that this thing won't break at any point. I hope this will not break, because the engine is going to try to spin this thing, and this is going to be attached to the flywheel, so the torque will be like twisting this thing. So I hope the welding will be strong enough to hold all the twist that the engine produce while driving. So let's just move on and turn it down right now. Alright guys, after two hours of thinking like how the hell I'm going to balance this thing out, because the choke which I have on the lathe is not just exactly balanced in, so it's having a little bit of a tiny bit of place there in the choke, so it's not cutting exactly right. And that play with this thing mounted over to the engine means it's going to be a nightmare if I made this balanced or anything, because that high RPM it will just be wobbly. So if it's wobbly means I could just ruin up the engine, the body or bearing or anything. Anything could happen. So I have to be take in mind that this thing should be properly mounted, like no flexibleness at all, no disbalance or at all. So I got it right with the bolt over here, and yes, some taper shaft I was having, like a taper bolt I was having. So it's just tapered from inside, and to hold it exactly I have catched the bearing inside. So now this thing is just exactly right with the engine. Now let's just give this thing some markings of the bolt, and then I'm going to just tap some threads over here. Right guys, so got the keyway done. I know it isn't that great, but yes, it is going to work. So here's the keyway. It's not going to go all the way, it's sticking out this much. I'm going to cut out the rest, and now it's time for me to make the keyway over here. The easiest way is to get this like open up the engine and take the crank out, put it on the lathe and make the keyway over here. I know how to make it on the lathe, but I don't want to open up the engine and get this crank out, because if I open up the engine I have to get all the gaskets and everything. So I just don't want to go that much. I'm thinking to just use a grinder to make a keyway over here, key lock over here, so that I could just put the key lock over here and slide this shaft inside. So let's just use the grinder to make the keyway. Oh my god, the camera wasn't recording, and I was just struggling to get this thing fitted over here, and still not fitted out. So let's just continue fitting it out.